I lost my parents. That pain made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past, as if fighting crime would bring my parents back. Let's get nuts. Yeah. I'm Batman.
In an era where nostalgia is almost being weaponized by corporations to get consumers to pay, there's been very few times where returning legacy characters have been done right. In many cases, a majority of these monumental returns are done without the original writer or creator and executed in a way that's more frustrating, if anything. The most clear example would have to be the Emperor in Star Wars Episode 9.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
While the novelization and outside media allude to the fact he was cloned, the only reasoning given in the film was just repeating an iconic line from Revenge of the Sith.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities some consider to be unnatural.
Okay.
While JJ's directing adds a lot of sauce, the writing sadly just doesn't come close. Another recurring theme in revisiting classic characters is having them come back as broken people. Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi is not a clever deconstruction, but complete and utter character assassination. I appreciate Rian Johnson as a filmmaker and think he constructed a beautifully shot film, but choosing to prioritize your own interpretation over the character over what's in the best interest of what everyone wants is a huge mistake. What did it cost? A $700 million decrease in box office gross from the previous film, and a fracture within the fandom that has yet to be repaired. Top Gun: Maverick is the gold standard for treating a fan-favorite character with the reverence they deserve. But what happens when they do that? You receive critical acclaim and a huge box office return. Everyone is happy. I mean, it was even nominated for Best Picture. Lately in superhero films, the multiverse has been the ideal gateway in having iconic portrayals of characters return. Recently, there's been No Way Home with the return of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, but DC was way ahead of the curve and technically did it first. The Arrowverse event series, Crisis on Infinite Earths, featured the return of several characters from many DC properties, with the likes of Burt Ward as Robin, Tom Welling as Clark Kent, John Wesley Shipp and Ezra Miller as alternate versions of The Flash, and most notably, Brandon Routh in his grand return as Superman. While ambitious, it was definitely hindered by its limited budget and sometimes subpar writing.
I'm tired of killing Superman. So much more fun making Superman kill Superman.
While The Flash would ultimately become a multiverse-centric film, it went through several different iterations with many writers and directors attached over the years. Originally planned to release March 30th, 2018, dope filmmaker Rick Famuyiwa was hired to direct a script from Seth Grahame-Smith and Phil Lord and Chris Miller based on a story from Zack Snyder. This version would have introduced Reverse Flash, as he's set to be the overarching villain of the DCEU, secretly orchestrating many of the events with Ed Skrein in mind for the role. After Famuyiwa's exit from the film, it was then completely retooled to be a multiverse story based on Jeff Johns' wildly popular Flashpoint comic. First revealed in June 2020, Michael Keaton was in talks to reprise his role as Batman from the Burton films. Naturally, this excited many fans, and in time for DC fandom that August, it was officially announced that Keaton would return in the role, with the first official look at the film highlighting Barry Allen donning a new Flash suit alongside Keaton in his iconic Batsuit. The following year, a teaser was ready just in time for DC Fandom 2021, a whole 2 years before the film would actually be released, with an introduction from Ezra Miller.
We do have this small sneak peek that my maestro Andy and I have put together that we really hope you'll enjoy, and I will see you in theaters later next year, or more importantly, you will see me.
Is that a threat, motherfucker?
While the teaser focused on Barry Allen, it included a monologue from Bruce Wayne alongside a snippet of Danny Elfman's Batman '89 score. At the very end, only the back of Batman's cowl can be seen. While fans weren't even given a full look at the character, it was enough to get everyone hyped. Fascinatingly, it wasn't even always this way, because Michael Keaton's initial casting announcement in 1988 faced a ton of backlash.
It don't seem that it's right, you know?
Bo's afraid Hollywood will just poke fun on what could be a legitimate drama.
I would have liked to see a sexier person, you know, more macho man.
He's balding, he's short.
Well, I'd rather see Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He needs some muscles on him.
I think that he's kind of a wimp.
Of course, Keaton's Batman would go on to become a beloved incarnation of the Dark Knight. As The Flash finally ventured into theaters, many anxiously awaited to experience the return of Batman. While the film opens with a super fun and exciting action sequence featuring Ben Affleck's Batman of the DCEU, it's not until the second act that audience was reintroduced to Keaton. After altering the timeline by saving his mother, the Flash finds himself in a world without the Justice League to stop General Zod's invasion. Even though this world shares many similarities with the main DCEU, Aquaman was never born, Wonder Woman is seemingly still hidden away on Themyscira, Superman's pod never arrived, and Cyborg never had the accent that gave him his abilities. Despite all this, a version of Batman does exist, merging the Earth 89 reality into this new Flashpoint timeline. With no hope of stopping Zod, the Flash and 2013 Barry visit the dilapidated Wayne Manor to recruit Batman for a fighting chance. Once they arrive, Bruce shows he's still got it, easily disarming the two Barrys with a broom while wearing sandals. As the fight winds down, his face is finally revealed, showing a more shaggy look. Although he looks a little run down, he explains he retired as Batman as he essentially achieved in ridding Gotham of all of its crime. However, knowing Keaton's Batman, there's no way he let his rogues gallery go alive. The whole internet complains about Ben Affleck's Batman killing when Keaton is a straight-up psychopath, murdering henchmen left, right, and center, and even his two biggest foes with the Joker and then the Penguin. This Batman is truly a force of nature and does not play. After declining to help the Barrys locate Supergirl, the two break into the Batcave to use its resources. Of course, it'd be wrong to have Keaton return without showing all the iconography of the character. As Barry turns on the power, Danny Elfman's iconic Batman score begins, accompanied by a sweeping shot revealing the entire Batcave. While it does look a bit different through a modern lens, Andy Muschietti's direction adds a sense of childlike wonder, revisiting a coveted location special to many who grew up with the character. The Batmobile is highlighted too, although it doesn't end up being used in the film. A bit of a tease for sure, but awesome to gaze upon nonetheless. In a poignant moment where Barry gives his respects to Bruce's parents and talks about wanting to save his family, Bruce sees it as a call to action, unlocking a bookshelf to reveal a bevy of awesome Batsuits. As Barry disappointedly accepts that Batman isn't coming to help, an updated version of the Batwing descends with added emphasis on the Bat insignia, with the Elfman theme commencing, and in glorious over-the-top fashion steps in the man himself.
You are?
Yeah. I'm man.
My theater erupted in excitement, and I stared in awe at the grand return of one of my childhood heroes. Thank God the costume team didn't go overboard with redesigning the classic Batsuit. It's just such a timeless and iconic look. Various concepts were played around with, including a mechanical suit inspired by Kingdom Come, which I don't think would have been the move. Funny enough, the costume department went out of their way to make the suit easier to move in, but Keaton insisted that it must be stiff as he felt the over-the-top turning movements are essential to the character.
I said, hopefully we've put more movement into him, and he just go, no, I can't have that. There's no way we can have movement. It's got to be that's the really important thing. Okay, we'll make sure it's nice and for you.
As soon as Batman enters the picture, the Flash essentially just becomes a Batman movie. From there, Batman steals every scene, with Andy Muschietti putting so much love and passion into every shot featuring him. While very swift, him busting out the grappling hook has to be one of the hardest Batman shots ever put to film. But of course, nothing's ever beating Raw Bat walking in the rain. Matt Reeves and Greg Fraser cooked. As the heroes finally arrive in Russia, Batman single-handedly destroys all of the guards in what might be my favorite Batman fight sequence. It's a very close tie with the beautifully choreographed warehouse set piece from Batman vs. Superman. From the Batarang action to the impact of the kick and punches, Michael Keaton still got it. Batman action has definitely evolved a lot since his first outing as the character. The way Muschietti frames the character truly makes him feel like this larger-than-life figure, really highlighting his presence. Adapting some elements of the Flashpoint comic, Supergirl is weak and imprisoned, having never seen the sun, similar to how Superman was in it. As they all escape, the bomb sequence is just hilarious, with some really great editing. I will say, seeing Batman fighting in broad daylight does look a bit odd, but the scene features one of my favorite shots from the movie, which feels straight out of a comic book. Andy Muschietti definitely understood the assignment. Once the heroes all return to the Batcave, there's a very brief scene where Bruce is fixing himself up, and as he looks in the mirror, there's a twinkle in his eye as he's thrilled to be back as Batman. It almost feels like meta, and it's just magnificent to see Michael Keaton clearly having so much fun and passion in this role all this time later. Later, it was really special seeing Barry and Bruce have a heart-to-heart. This dynamic is really fun, and seeing him in a mentor role makes me really upset that Warner Brothers canceled the Batman Beyond film, which would have had him return in a similar position, guiding Terry McGinnis. Oh well. As the heroes prepare to fight Zod, Batman of course says,
"You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts."
Oh, brother! It felt so shoehorned in. I'd never really viewed it as that iconic of a line that's synonymous with Batman, more of just a really fun and silly quote. Naturally, into the final battle, Batman does take a bit of a backseat, but we still get some really fun Batwing action, and it includes a really cool new mechanic with the gyroscopic cockpit. After the Batwing crashes, we see Bat-Keaton give one final stand, disarming a giant Kryptonian using only his gadgets. Ultimately, he ends up dying from his injuries, but not without saying one final line that's really touching, cementing his arc in the film.
We can't bring you back, can we?
You already did.
Concluding Batman's role in the film, there's still some really cool stuff in the finale. The idea of 2013 Barry having to come to terms that he can't save everyone is really cool, and as the Flash warns him against trying to go back in time again and again, it really plays with the moral implications of it all. Dark Flash's appearance is also really neat, however the sequence is just absolutely ruined by the corporate mandated cameos as the different Earths collide. The CGI just looks awful, and it's in really poor taste. It adds nothing to the movie. Batman's return is a great example of using a legacy character to drive a movie full throttle, but those cameos are so forced. Now here's the part that confuses me. With the character as recognizable as Michael Keaton's Batman, and The Flash finally getting a big screen adaptation, how on earth did it bomb that bad? Well, I do have an answer, and it all comes down to one person.
Twice in a row. I film myself when I get assaulted for NFT crypto art.
What is going on with you? What are you talking about?
Committing several crimes, receiving grooming allegations, and just being an all-around jackass, it was impossible to not see Ezra Miller's face on the news for all of 2022.
That's an option I present people, always.
Hi.
And always just knock you out, and then you won't have to panic.
Right, you just gotta knock
you just
people
let
out.
me know.
Yeah.
No? Yes?
What?
This dude even claimed they were the Messiah.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
What really upsets me is through all of this, Ezra Miller got off scot-free, whereas Ray Fisher, a black man who spoke out against Warner Brothers' corruption and racism, gets fired as Cyborg. The double standard is real, and Issa Rae made a brilliant statement on it last year. Now I seriously want to know how much money Warner's paid Tom Cruise and James Gunn to call it the greatest superhero movie of all time. All in all, I really like The Flash. Is it a masterpiece? No. Is it flawed? Very. But there's just so much charm to it. Andy Muschietti's creative voice is all over this film, and while it does get bogged down by mid-CGI at times, the action is just so much fun and enhanced by great camera work. Seeing Michael Keaton back as Batman one last time was truly one of the coolest experiences I've lived to witness. While Robert Pattinson may be the Caped Crusader now, Keaton and Tim Burton's work on Batman really set in motion the right tone for the character going forward, and will forever be viewed as groundbreaking.
Thank you. These are Nerf guns, just in case you worry that they're bullets. Those are Nerf bullets.
Thank you for letting me.
They are fake and they are a toy.
Thank you for letting
me. This is my belt buckle and my Nerf bullets.
I appreciate that.
Please don't take them from me. The Flash ring means a lot to me.